Today we're making some simple tray bake recipes that are perfect for weeknight dinners. I don't think you can ever have too much of different varieties. You know what I mean? Why did I get awkward? Why did I get awkward? You just plop all of your ingredients into a single baking dish. You put it in the oven and then you go maybe get into some PJs, wash up, and then when you come back into the kitchen, you're gonna have a delicious home-cooked meal that's ready to dig into. First up, we're making a recipe that's inspired by the creaminess of risotto. So we'll begin by chopping some veggies, starting with some tomatoes, and we're gonna transfer this all to a baking dish, followed by a chopped leek and a chopped onion. So this recipe has both leek and onions. If you don't wanna use both, you can just use one, but I love the flavor combination of having both of them in there, and the flavors do mellow out quite a bit when it's baking in the oven. And then I'm also gonna add in some minced garlic, along with 1.5 cups of short grain rice, the kind you'd use to make risotto. Then we can add in 1.5 cups of cooked buttery cannellini beans and 1/3 cup of nutritional yeast flakes. We're also gonna add some bay leaves, a generous glug of olive oil, some dried chili flakes, and some optional dried dill. Next, we're gonna dissolve a couple of bouillon cubes in 3 cups of boiling water and then pour this over top of everything and give it a toss. If you prefer to use vegetable stock, you can use that too instead. Then we'll cover the dish with a lid or foil and pop it all into the oven at 390 Fahrenheit or 200 Celsius to bake for about an hour or until the rice is al dente. All right, just before I take this dish out of the oven, I'm gonna first make a super quick dressing. We're gonna start with chopping a generous amount of fresh dill and add it to a bowl along with some olive oil, some lemon juice, and a little bit of salt and pepper. When we've taken the rice out of the oven, we're gonna simply pick out the bay leaves first, and then we're gonna pour the lemon and dill dressing over top of everything and gently stir it all together. Lastly, we'll sprinkle over a generous amount of roasted pine nuts, and then you can serve this one up. I love the creaminess of the rice, and there's something about the lemon and dill combo that also gives this dish like a seafood flavor to me. Super delicious, and if you're a dill lover like I am, you're gonna love this recipe.
Oh, so creamy.
For this next recipe, we're gonna be making a mouth-watering plant-based shakshuka. Shakshuka is a dish that's enjoyed throughout North Africa and many countries in the Middle East, and traditionally it's cooked on the stove, which you could do here too if you wanted to, but we're gonna be making it oven-baked style today. So let's first preheat the oven to 390 Fahrenheit or 200 Celsius. We're gonna grab a baking dish and dump in a tin of diced tomatoes. Then we're gonna chop some veggies, starting with a couple of bell peppers, an onion, we'll mince a few cloves of garlic, and lastly, we can de-seed and mince 2 chili peppers. You can always, of course, add less if you're a bit spice adverse. Then we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, a tablespoon of olive oil, 1.5 teaspoons of smoked paprika powder, and a teaspoon each of ground cumin and ground coriander. And lastly, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Then we're gonna give this all a mix and pop it into the oven for 30 minutes. Seriously, how easy was that? Everything into one baking dish, and now I'm gonna walk away. Okay, so that's been in the oven for nearly 30 minutes, but first we gotta make some eggs or some vegan versions of them because shakshuka is traditionally made with eggs, and we're gonna be making ours with 3 simple ingredients. And I think you know me at this point when it comes to making something taste like egg. I always love to use kala namak, also known as black salt. So we're just gonna add a teaspoon of this to a small plate, along with 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric powder. This gives a beautiful golden color that kind of mimics egg yolk. And then we're just gonna mix these 2 together. Next, we're gonna slice some silken tofu into 1 centimeter thick slices. This soft tofu is what's gonna also give us that egg look and mouthfeel. We're then gonna coat the softened tofu lightly with the salt and turmeric mixture, and then when the dish is done baking, we're simply gonna place these little tofu pieces onto the tomato mixture, just pressing it down a little bit so that it's being hugged by the sauce. And then we're gonna return it to the oven to bake for another 10 to 15 minutes or so. As soon as we take the dish out of the oven, we're gonna wanna sprinkle a generous amount of za'atar seasoning over top of it. So za'atar is just a unique blend of spices and herbs, and it adds a beautiful, delicious depth of flavor to pretty much any dish. Now you can buy this from most grocery stores, but we also have a recipe to make it yourself at home if you'd like to, and I'm gonna link that for you below. Then we can also sprinkle on some fresh cilantro for a pop of color and freshness, and then serve this dish up with some warm toasted pita breads, which are perfect for scooping up every last bite. Before digging in, don't forget to squeeze some fresh lemon juice over all of it and prepare to be impressed by your new favorite weeknight meal. That's good. All right, next we're making some barbecue cauliflower and chickpea-filled tortillas. For this recipe, there are only 3 things we need to chop. The first is to cut half of a head of cauliflower into florets. If you ever have leftover ingredients, by the way, like we have this leftover cauliflower now, you can use actually our website's filter feature to find recipes that use up the leftover ingredients that you have in your fridge. Then we're also gonna very thinly slice a sweet potato and a bell pepper. And once we've transferred this all to a lined baking tray, we're gonna add in a large tin of cooked chickpeas, along with your favorite barbecue sauce, a teaspoon of garlic powder, half of a teaspoon of smoked paprika powder, and then we can just toss everything together and pop it into the oven to bake for 40 to 50 minutes or until the potatoes are cooked. When the tray bake is out of the oven, I like to toss it in just a little bit more barbecue sauce, and I also like to serve it with a simple 2-ingredient ranch sauce. I just mix together some yogurt with our ranch seasoning mix. It's that easy. This is actually a recipe from our website. I'm gonna link it for you below. It's super versatile and just awesome to have in your pantry. And now dinner is served. It's a wonderful dinner if you've got family to feed, because everyone can just serve themselves. Each person grabs a warmed up tortilla, serve the barbecue veggies inside of it, along with some fresh veggies if you have it, like avocados or onion slices, and then you can drizzle over the ranch sauce. It's simple, packed full of flavor, and perfect for any weeknight.
Good.
Yeah, right?
I like the sauce.
If you're looking for even more weeknight dinner ideas, we actually recently did a one-pot meals video. So I'm gonna link that for you here. We have even more videos that we've done that I'm gonna link for you in the description box below, which is also where you can find the full breakdown to the recipes that we made today. But thanks so much for hanging with me today, friends. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed the video, I welcome you to give it a thumbs up. It always means a lot. All right, Pick Up Lime signing off. We'll see you in the next video. Let's make this creamy, lemony, dill baked risotto. No. Let's make this creamy, lemony dill. I don't know what I'm saying. We're gonna make a 1-pan dish. Let's make this delicious 1-pan dinner that uses lemon and dill. So incredibly flavorful. This is the perfect weeknight dinner. You just add all the ingredients to a baking dish, put it in the oven. Oh my God, I swear I'm gonna, it's constantly stuff hanging. Wait. That was very much a struggle. Again. We're also actually adding fresh dill later, so if you want to omit the dry dill, you can, but I love dill, so I like to add. Why can't I finish the sentence? I love dill, so I don't think you can ever have too much of different varieties. You know what I mean? Why did I get awkward? Why did I get awkward? Pretty much all the time. Delicious to just sprinkle onto potatoes, stir it into some mayonnaise. I don't know, options are endless. We give you some ideas. Check out the blog. How much longer can I make this? How much? Why do I just keep talking?